What is going on, everyone? It is Corey Breeze, and today I'm going over my Street Fighter 6 EVO 2024 tournament matches. Really go over the concepts of each match, break down tournament nerves, tournament highs, and just really go over the mindset that I had. Last year was my first competitive Street Fighter 6 tournament, and I'm looking to compete more this year. And the upcoming video that I have will be some casuals that I had for that day. And just to give you guys some context, I had not played Street Fighter for over a month prior to this particular tournament. And anytime you miss what seems like a month in fighting game terms, it can almost feel like it's a year. And so I was incredibly rusty. This is just some of the tournament match footage I had with this young man. I believe he's from Austin. Really good, Jamie. He made it out of pools. And for the record, I was not aware that this footage was being recorded. My girlfriend was recording all this. I didn't find this out until after all these matches. So just forewarning, some of the camera angles are going to be just a little bit out there. But nonetheless, I was getting smacked by this guy in a good way. I wasn't necessarily caring about losing, but I just wanted to make sure my muscle memory was awakened, and specifically just getting myself in a mindset of being able to just perform my combos when I was needing to perform my combos. But we ran a very long set. I probably played this guy for about an hour, I'd say, a very long time. And I'm also using the Victrix Pro arcade stick. It's like, this thing is amazing. It's very, very good arcade stick. But the first tournament match I had was gonna be against Zangief. And anytime you play against Zangief, you really don't want to have him near you. But I told myself, you know what? I am not losing. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I win. I mean, I do want to have fun, but starting off, I just made sure, hey, keep him as far away as I can. And if it's working, I'm going to keep doing it. So as you can see, really starting the match off and just making sure I can anti-air, but I slipped there. He got me right here. These things happen. And to be fair, I do play against a very good Zangief, so I was really prepared for the matchup. It was just sometimes you want to make sure that the mindset that you have is being shown on camera, and not necessarily on camera, but through your gameplay. And once again, if it's working, it's working. I was doing the same tactics to use, making sure I can just keep Geef out, poke here, poke there, and making sure I can capitalize off his mistakes. And a lot of the strings that I like to do, I'm not the best reaction player when it comes to doing drive rush. So if I saw players doing drive rush, I would just stop pressing buttons as opposed to trying to react with my own drive rush. It's something I probably need to incorporate into my gameplay. But this is from last year, and as I stated, I was really, really sick, and currently I'm 1-0 right here now. So I got the first win, first round of the set. So now I'm just thinking, okay, I just need to close it out. And as I stated, I was determined not to lose. I didn't fly halfway across the country just to lose. And I mean, you will lose eventually, but I wasn't going out like that. I was not prepared to have my first match as a loss. And that's no disrespect to people who that does happen to. However, I wasn't going to allow myself to be in that category. And I do represent the San Antonio fighting game community. I would be a 09er. I started with Street Fighter 4, my first competitive Street Fighter game. And it's playing fighting games, at least in person, is just that rush of just being competitive and really putting yourself out there. I really enjoy that aspect, and just being able to just lab and learn different techniques and express yourself through different characters is something that I really, really, really enjoy. And one of the things that I noticed that you will also pick up on, I just made sure to make sure that my frame traps were on point. People really love to take their turn back. They like to mash, and rightfully so, but you really have to be in the mindset of conditioning your opponent, and you got to get that fist bump, because that was a great match. And this was the second match here against JP. And this guy was very, very good. I think he ended up winning the pool, if I remember correctly. And once again, the camera angle and the colors, I was not aware that any of these matches were being filmed until after all of my tournament matches. And so I'm really appreciative that my girlfriend decided to do that for me. She didn't have to. I was just so determined and focused on playing that I wasn't even concerned with having my matches recorded. And I think with any good JP, once they get the life lead on you, they can keep you out. And just case in point, I was donezo. I had him in a corner. I let the opportunity slip by, and I tried to get back in here, but he checked my dash, which is good. You know, you always want to stop Blanka from doing the shenanigans and everything. Now, Blanka can have a play style that can exhibit a lot of shenanigans, but I also believe his neutral game is very, very good. So he has the ability to rush down and also play lane. It's really up to you as the person playing Blanka. So right now, just lost. My mindset is like, you know what? Let me go to DJ. And DJ is a character that I really enjoy playing. Been playing him since Street Fighter 4 as well. I really like his overall design in this game. And I tend to have multiple characters just to keep myself prepared. And as you'll see, well, I'll let the gameplay speak for itself. But at this particular point, I wasn't really utilizing DJ's fireball game against JP. And this is a matchup that I'm not the best in, to be honest with you. And right here, got perfect parry. And it was almost like a downhill slump from here, almost. But even still, you want to be able to utilize your tools. Even if it is going downhill, you still want to have that mindset of it's not over until it's over, so to speak. So now I'm trying to make a comeback here, but my efforts were futile. So at this point, I try to get in and playing it slow. And looking back at this, and this, you know, as they state, hindsight is 20/20. I should have been utilizing more of DJ's fireballs and really trying to zone, because I got him to the corner, but I didn't capitalize on keeping that corner pressure. But even here, we switched, and now I'm in the corner. So that's a bad thing. Kind of utilizing my feint to get him to jump. Wanted to do a regular up kick to get out of the corner, but I got an EX instead. And sometimes those things happen. You have tournament nerves where you get the execution error, and you can't really allow that to dictate your mindset of what you're doing. But even still, I was noticing that, okay, I have him back in the corner, got him down, and even from here, I should have kept that mid-range about right here and just even punish that throw attempt with a bigger punish, because that throw was damaged, but I could have practically like destroyed him right there. So at this point, I thought I had him. Wrong decision, should have just waited and blocked, but hey, he made a better decision. And so at this point, I'm 1-1, gotta get that fist pump in. Now, the second match with the Cammy player, this one was a good match. This young man at the beginning to the left of me, to the yellow, he was getting a little frustrated, but you'll see through the gameplay where it comes through. But once again, gotta make sure those frame traps are good, especially with Blanka's electricity EX. Either a lot of people don't know that he's plus on that, or they just don't care. But the mindset I like to have when I'm utilizing is just play lane and baited that DP, got him in the corner. So now at this point, I'm just thinking, okay, I just need to just outlast this young man and just keep my cool and just don't pop, so to speak. Here, I think Cammy and Blanka, I personally, this is just personally, I think it's a slight advantage in Blanka's favor. Reason being, just due to him having a little bit more health, and he doesn't have to make as many mistakes as Cammy. Now, mind you, Cammy does have to come to him, but Blanka is able to exert himself and at least get chip damage or damage her without overextending. But you know, that's just an opinion. So definitely got to keep those reversals on deck. Being a charge character, you want to make sure that you set your opponent in their mind that, hey, you can't just get in on me for free. He baited that DP that time, but he didn't really do a gigantic punish. At this point, I'm in burnout. And once again, I just want to reiterate, I was not aware that these matches were being recorded. So don't add to me in the comments. So, but shout outs to CC for being a camera woman. And at this point, I only have one win, and I'm just thinking, okay, I just need to just brace the storm. He baited that DP again, but I was also able to anti-air him and just notice that, okay, he's pressing a lot of buttons. I need to make sure that I'm capitalizing on him pressing buttons. So that's something I noticed I was going to keep being able to do. And even here, once again, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, remember, he's pressing buttons after EX electricity. And now that I have him in the corner, I'm gonna keep him in the corner as best as I can. So at this point, I just need to keep my mindset on winning. That's about it. Get out of the corner as best as I can. Now that throw was an error on my part. However, I did not allow my execution error to get the best of me. Sometimes it comes down to tournament nerves, and your opponent is just as nervous as you are, if not more nervous. And instead of panicking and focusing on, man, I messed up, I was able to capitalize on his error and realize, hey, I have another chance at this. And so even though I was still in the corner, I was able to just keep my composure, get the life lead. And as you see, once I typically get the life lead, I force my opponent to come to me, which can be a gift and it can be a curse, as you can see, because I'm starting to get in the corner now. However, once again, my opponent established a habit of always pressing buttons. So I just knew, as long as I have my pressure, if it's my turn, the way I view frame traps, technically you always win as long as your timing is right. And if they beat you when you have plus frames, then your timing wasn't right. You see, as you notice, instead of pressing a button, he was still pressing a button, but he was using a medium attack button to kind of beat my frames. But at that point, I picked that up. And once again, just letting you all know, I was not aware that the matches were being recorded at this time. So I'm actually losing. I'm getting whooped right now. But once again, see, he's starting to fight back after my pressure. But that's on me by not really keeping the same mindset and just making those frames count. But at this point, I'm just thinking, okay, let me throw something else at him that he has not seen. Go in for a light ball, but the light attack and then throw. Because prior to that, I've been conditioning with the fierce Blanca ball, but the light one in this game, you can pretty much recover it like instantly. And see, now I'm throwing another layer. He hadn't seen this. So I'm starting to get him with the shenanigans, so to speak. And my EX had gotten beaten, but those things happen, but I didn't allow that to deter me. So once again, utilizing Blanca's just long normals, keeping Cammy at bay. And he tried to wake up with a drive reversal. But as you can see, I was able to beat that. But I do have an over-reliance on Amazon River Run, which is down forward and hard punch. And see, even here, he's pressing buttons again, but I started to realize, okay, let me delay my frame trap slightly, but let me get some space between us without putting myself in the corner. And so now I'm mixing my light Blanca balls up, either between the light and the heavy. So at this point, he's in burnout. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, I pretty much effectively got this guy. I just need to keep my interiors on point, don't give up too much, and just keep the cool. And once I was able to do that, once again, I was able to do that and utilize that. So this is the final round of this set, or this match at this point. So now I pretty much have conditioned him to at least be on the lookout for light Blanca ball, and you see he had checked that with crouching light punch. But once again, it's which one do you worry about? So I had him in the corner, capitalized with all of my meter. And once again, I was thinking, okay, now that I have the life lead first, I'm forcing this Cammy player to come to me and really put them in a more deficit in terms of decision making. Because Blanca, in my opinion, once he has a life lead, he can really keep his opponent out. And just taking what my opponent was giving me, I wasn't overextending myself, just taking the damage that appeared. Tried to anti-air there, but one of the things I like to really do and always make sure that my protects are on point. And as you notice, each time he tried to throw me, I was able to take it. That was an execution error there. I was trying to get an EX electricity, but it turned into his command normal stance. And right here, got the move and fist pump, time to move on. And next match, we have Ed. So currently in the tournament, I am 2-1. 2-1, exactly. So 2-1 at this point. I'm in losers. The JP player sent me into losers. And Ed is a character that I also enjoy playing as well. I think he's very, very, very good, unorthodox Shoto. But just wanted to do the same game plan that I've been doing since I've started with the tournament. Just taking what my opponent was giving me, and any damage that I can get, I was making sure that I just had it. So once again, mixing up my light and fierce Blanca balls, got the first round down. Now we're on to the next. So at this point, Picking up some notes on my opponent, he's not really mashing reversal on wake up. So I had him on in the corner. A lot of people sometimes tend to overutilize parry. And once I saw, I just did an empty jump, punished his parry. Tried to go for one of my shenanigans, but either he had seen me do that before or had been on the lookout. But once again, it's those types of scenarios you just want to test your opponent. And I tried to go for a grab, but it didn't go through. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I have this player in the corner, and that was the executioner, but I was still able to get the damage. So now I'm just thinking, okay, I just need to keep him in the corner. Do not allow him to get out of the corner, and whatever you do not allow him to get out of the corner. Just keep him in. So at this point, I'm doing a good job of just taking the offense that he's giving me. His DPs were decent. I'll give him that. He was answering me. But just my will to win, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get in. So now I'm up 1-0, and we're on to the next match. And there were a couple of errors in this match that you'll see that I do. In case in point, overutilized the Amazon River Run, and I got punished for it, rightfully so. Now I'm back in the corner. So I was able to do drive rush on him and get that damage. I could have got some more, but at the time, this is over a year ago, this footage, my block has gotten a lot better. I'm being able to utilize more shimmies and other extensive combos. But at this point, yeah, he took it to me at this round. So I wasn't overly thinking about anything, just really trying to think, okay, what can I do? I need to slow it down and make sure I keep him in the corner and not over analyze things and just take what my opponent is giving me. And at this moment, he's starting to get to me, knocking me down. But I believe I was plus there because that Blanca ball hit at his ankles, but I just didn't take advantage of the frame advantage. So at this point, we don't necessarily have a stalemate, but in terms of the life lead, I have the life lead. So I'm just thinking, okay, play lame, make him come to me, and which was working. But I should have just relied on a little bit more Blanca balls and just not force my hand, so to speak. I just should have played it a little bit cleaner. Oh, and once again, I was not aware that these matches are being recorded, so don't at me in the comments. But nonetheless, life is low, still playing it slow, and he got the round right here. So now it's 1-1 for both of us. So I'm just thinking, okay, at this point, okay, gotta lock in. I cannot lose, I'm not going to lose. And once I had him in the corner here, I knew I was in a good position. Because I was thinking, okay, he's backed himself up into the corner without me even having to do anything. And then that was a combo error, execution error, didn't capitalize, but you can't allow mistakes to dictate the flow of the match. And even though I'm in the corner, we switched, I'm thinking, okay, I got to get out. And eventually I do. So at this point, I'm just thinking I need to get enough space to not allow myself to get cornered. But playing as a player, that sequence he just did, that does tend to happen. So I capitalized on his mistakes. So now we switch, even though our life bars are about the same in terms of health. I'm just thinking, okay, momentum's on my side. Because now we're back in neutral. I can bait him into making some mistakes. And as you're seeing, I'm still just keeping my distance, baiting him to jump in on me, which I got. I've made the right decision. And then right here, I'm just thinking, okay, I just need to just play it cool. He's probably looking for Blanca ball, but I went with Amazon River Run, and now it's 1-1 of the set at this point. So in tournament life, I'm currently 2-1 right now. And so I have him in the corner and still making sure I keep him in the corner and he can't get out. I messed my execution up once again, but these things happen. A very good job on him on reacting to my drive rush. Very, very good job, because had he not done that, he would have been donezo. But nonetheless, still keeping up with everything, making sure that, okay, let's switch. We're both in burnout, so I can't necessarily do too much to him in terms of pressure, because we're both in a negative state, essentially. But that does not mean I still can't press my advantage. And I did realize he was doing a lot of drive, a lot of parries. So that's why I would like empty jump throw, empty jump low. But this was an execution error, and he punished me right here. And I technically gave the match up here at this point. I could have won, but that execution error cost me. But these things happen. I didn't allow that. Even right there, I had 2 opportunities to win this match, and I just blew it both times. But instead of getting down and being frustrated with myself, I just said, you know what, it is what it is, things happen. Let me focus on the future. So now at this point, I have 3 bars of meter, he only has 1. So from a damage output, I'm banking on myself that I just need 1 hit, case in point. Time to cash out. Level 3, and there we go. So once I got that level 3 cashed in, I'm just thinking, okay, I just need to play it cool, don't overexert, mix up my Blanca ball pressure and make him come to me. To me, Ed sometimes struggles with making a comeback against certain characters, and against a character like Blanca, he definitely can keep Blanca, Ed can keep Blanca out. However, Blanca has the tools to really just, as you see, I'm just playing it smart as best as I can. Even a little hit like that, I was willing to take that because I had the life lead. So I'm expecting to get hit. But once again, I'm like, all right, let me throw in an empty jump throw, and it's been working, and I got it right here. And there we go, fist pump at the end. So now I'm 3-1 currently for my first EVO tournament. So this Ryu player was very, very, very strong. And I myself, though, I don't give myself credit for really sticking with what I should have stuck with, because looking back at it, I probably more than likely should have stuck with Blanca in this matchup. But nice of him to whip punish my Amazon River run. Very good on him. His DPs were very immaculate. Very, very good. I was making sure to parry. I could have got a better punish off of that, looking back on it. And then I was being a little bit too aggressive. I should have took the ground approach as opposed to trying to force my way in via jumping. But got the drive rush, cashed out with some damage. And at this point, I'm like, all right, let me just force my way in. And that necessarily wasn't working. If he wasn't in burnout, he definitely could have punished me a lot more than that. And then that was the turning point. I could have anti-aired him to the air, but I didn't. These things happen, but I should have not even allowed myself to get to that point. But thankfully, he was pressing buttons, and I was able to capitalize on that. And so I'm down 0-1 in this set currently, or at least in this match. And mind you, this is before Ryu even got these buffs, because as of today's date, just seeing the change list that Ryu received today, I mean, he is on God tier mode now. So this was last year. So I'm pretty sure this Ryu player was reading today's patch notes with a big smile on his face. I believe he was out of the FGC in Cleveland, I think, if I remember correctly, if memory serves me best. But once again, I didn't punish the whip throw. I'm just leaving damage on the table. And I was being very sloppy at this point and starting to go down from hill. And I'm just getting punished, just getting destroyed, and boom. Now I'm in a corner, dizzy mode, and that's that. So still have one more round, because now I'm just thinking, okay, he reacted, that didn't go too well. Not that I was panicking, but I was overexerting myself. And looking back, even you can see that I'm shaking my head, like respecting, like, okay, that was the right thing to do in this particular context. And once again, I was not aware that that these matches were being recorded until way after all this. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just locked in, just playing. And as you can see, there's not that many people around us at this point for our pool and everything. But at this point, even though Blanca's in burnout, to the best of my ability, I'm like, okay, I need to get out of the corner. And I got him there. Now, I got in, but I made the wrong decision. I should have did a light DP. Not a light DP, a light Blanca ball. But at this point, I'm just thinking, you know what? Let me try something different. Let me go with a shoulder of my own. And let me try Ed. And typically, I've been playing, and you can see her hands just all over the camera and everything. So thank you, camera woman. I typically play Ed, Blanca, and DJ. And sometimes playing too many characters can get the best of you, because you're going to see a couple times in here in this match, like I was playing really well with Ed, but I was dropping the ball in terms of having a brain fog where I'm like, oh, I didn't do this combo. Oh, I didn't do this particular punish situation. Case in point, like right here. It's like I could have easily made that hurt a lot more than what it was, but hey, you live and you learn. So At this point, I'm just thinking, let me play a little bit more lame, just how he's been playing against me. And I could have punished that, but I got a wild DP coming out and execution error once again. Could have got way more damage out of that interaction, but this is the price that you pay for playing multiple characters sometimes. So lesson learned. Being able to play 3 characters is a good thing, but maybe at this point focusing on 2. I like to have characters that match my play style. So I typically always like to play like a zoner and like a rushdown. So Blanca would be like my rushdown / lane character. And then DJ and Ed would be the Shoto / zoning characters, so to speak. So, but yeah, this Ryu player was very, very good with the DP. And in the corner, got knocked down. And as you can see, I'm just ready to just try to get 1 on the board because I'm thinking, okay, I can't go out like this. I have to at least just get 1 type of match. At this point, a lot of my inability to capitalize on damage is going to catch up to me. And this is one of those scenarios where you want to make sure that you're consistent in your decision making, at least with the characters that you're playing. So that way, no matter what, you have all avenues covered. I mean, you can't have an answer for every situation. That's why sometimes character loyalists, they outshine character specialists because they're playing 1 character. So they're not going to have brain fog in terms of, oh, okay, I need to do this or I need to do that. Case in point, Ed's buttons are flipped for most characters where their crouching shorts are the bottom row. I play on arcade stick or whatever peripheral you use. But for Ed, his low is his crouching light punch in terms of like the placement. So I was able to capitalize here, get some damage going, at least get some type of momentum going. But now I'm just thinking, okay, I got him knocked down, I was able to cash out. Let me keep him in the corner, keep him there. But even now, he's starting to make and yeah, rightfully so, he just destroyed me. So I got punished for making the wrong decision, and as I should have, these things happen. And at this point, I was just really realizing that, okay, this is probably going to be it, but let me at least still make an attempt. And I was able to do that, as you're seeing right now. So, and Ed's win pose as a shout out to Balrog. At this particular point, I'm just thinking, okay, I'm a little bit sloppy with this character, and I'm not really capitalizing on the damage that I could have, case in point. But even with this scenario, I had the life lead here, and I didn't capitalize on it. You know, I really just let him get the best of me. I should have pressed the advantage a lot more than what I was doing. But these things happen with the DP, and the rest is history at this point. Now we're getting to a point where it's starting to get grim. Made the wrong decision. I still was in the game at this point, but now that I'm in burnout, I'm in a corner with the level 1 super, and that is it. So overall record was 3-2 for my first competitive Street Fighter 6 tournament. I learned a lot, really enjoyed everything. I look forward to competing in this year's tournament. And please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate you all for taking the time to watch my video. It really means a lot. And I look forward to showing more content with you all. And you all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Breeze out.